everybody and welcome to my best books of 2016, yay! I wasn't expecting to actually do one of these videos because I liked books I read in 2016, but I felt like I didn't have enough that I liked that much to put in a favourites video. But as I was looking down the list of all the books I did read, I was actually pleasantly surprised, so I decided, hey, may as well. Basically, moving on to the video, just a disclaimer. These are in no particular order. I do have the top 10 and I then have some honourable mentions, so I will do the honourable mentions first and then I'll go into the top 10. These are not ordered at all, just so you know, so someone doesn't be like, why did you like book A better than book B because it was later on your list? And I'm like, nah, I like them the same. Like, they're all my children. I like them all the same. Wait, that's a lie. There's always a favourite child. To get us started, I have a couple honourable mentions that I need to mention. These are books that I absolutely adored, but ultimately didn't make it onto the list because they were weeded out when I had to kind of like refine it. But I absolutely adored all these books, as I did most of the books I read this year, and just I highly recommend every single one of them. Book number 1 isn't actually a book, more or less it's a series. It's a really long series because the author's like, we're gonna stop writing, and then they write another one. But I'm not complaining. And that is the Addicted series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. That's their names, right? Yeah. The Addicted series, the Calloway Girl series, just that whole family series. It's like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but books, and so much better, and it's amazing and I love them so much. And the first book in the whole entire shebang, Addicted to You, follows Lily and Lo, and Lily is a sex addict and Lo is an alcoholic, and they've been in a fake relationship for years to stop people from getting onto their trail, and I just loved it so much. I loved their characters and I love the story and how they treated a sex addiction like a real addiction, because it is, rather than just like a problem or her being a slut or whatever. Like, this book is amazing when it comes to empowerment and anti-slut shaming. It was just beautiful. This whole series is a work of art, and the further you get into the series, the more, like, you love the characters so much more, and it's fantastic. I love it so much. It's just, Next honourable mention is A Midsummer's Nightmare by Kody Keplinger. I read this last month. I absolutely adored it. It was amazing, and even though I did really like it, it just didn't make it onto the list because another book with a lot more flesh cancelled it out. But I do absolutely adore this. Everyone should read it. It's Kody Keplinger's best book by far, in my opinion. I haven't read her newest book though, and I don't think I will because, I don't know, I've had bad experiences, but this might actually change my mind. It might. Next book I have here is The Fixer by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It is amazing. Everyone should read it. It's amazing, yeah. Then we have a book that's going to surprise a lot of people. Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. Someone's going to expect this to be on my top books of 2016, like my favourite books. It was up there. I love Sarah J Maas. I do adore her so much, but if Kale was in it, it would have been in the top 10 of my 2016. Alas, he was not. So I have reduced this to an honourable mention, but I did absolutely adore it, so there's always that. Next book I have here is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. Adore this book. Again, watch the movie, love the movie. The first book is by far my favourite in the series, and I can actually say that now because the whole series is completed. But I love this so much. It is an amazing book. Everyone should read it. I can't deal. And finally, the last of my honourable mentions is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, and this is book number 2 in the Red Queen quartet series type thing by Victoria Aveyard. Obviously, it's by Victoria Aveyard. Absolutely bloody bang-on series. Everyone should read this. It's amazing. First book in my list is actually the last book in a series, and that is Empower, which is book number 5 in the Violet Eden Chronicles, or the Violet Eden chapters, by Jessica Shervington. The reason that the last book in the series is in fact my favourite is because I just loved it a lot more than all the other books, even though the other books were absolutely completely fantastic. But let's just say the Violet Eden chapters in general were fantastic. But this book was a little bit more fantastic than the rest. Next book I have here is A Million Worlds with You by Claudia Gray, which is book number 3 in the Firebird trilogy by Claudia Gray. I absolutely adored the first 2 books in this trilogy, and this book was just amazing in every single way I could possibly imagine. It was a fantastic end to a trilogy. I've got so far 2 books that are like ends to trilogies here. Ends to series, I mean. And, the next book I have here is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Hardy, and this is the first book in the Wrath and the Dawn duology. The second book is The Rose and the Dagger. This is a retelling of 1001 Arabian Nights, whereas the king gets a new bride every night and then kills her by dawn. I really, really love this book. The writing is fantastic, the characters are fantastic, everything about this book is just fantastic, and even like the layout of the book is beautiful. Like, look at like the title pages for like the new chapters. It's beautiful. I just realized my lipstick like matches this. Yay! The next book I have here is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, which is the first book in a new duology. The second book, Wayfarer, is coming out early next month, and I am really excited. This was one of the first books I read of the year, and I absolutely adored it. I love Alexandra Bracken's writing so much. I love this world. I love the relationships and the characters and the dialogue. She does such a fantastic job at like weaving them all together, and the next not quite book I have here is Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is the first collection of comics in the Saga series type thing. This is issues 1 through 5. I absolutely adore this series. I love the art style, I love the characters, I love everything about it. It's just so beautiful, and the story is amazing, and it's so creative, and I love this so much. The next book here will surprise absolutely no one. Absolutely no one. And this was probably one of the only books that I loved unconditionally throughout the whole year, because other books have like flaws and stuff, but this is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites ever. And that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I adored this book. It is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. It is the second book in Rhys and Farah's trilogy. And the next book, A Court of Wings and Ruin, is coming out in May of next year, and I am so excited. The next book I have here, I don't actually have here because I read it on Wattpad, but it is an actual novel, and that was Too Late by Colleen Hoover. This book was amazing. I loved it so much. It had me flicking through pages and pages and pages, or scrolling through them as the case may be, and we had to bring a book into homeroom to read it at like school and stuff, and I didn't have a book, I just had Too Late, and I had it on my phone, and my teacher just looked at me and was supposed to have a no phone rule, and she just looked at me and she just kind of nodded, like, I'll let you read that. But I love this so much. It's such a fantastic kind of take on an abusive relationship and what goes through her mind and his mind and other people's minds as they view this relationship, and it's fantastic. And Colleen Hoover has actually published this, but I cannot buy it because it's really fucking expensive. The next book I have here is actually quite a recent favourite, and that is Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz. I adore this book so much. I loved it with my whole heart and soul. It was fantastic. It follows a girl who gets the national scholarship, and she realizes she can't take it because she's not an American citizen. It's a fantastic take on immigration and the stigma that the world has towards immigrants, and it's really amazing, and it just, it reminded me so much of my own family who are immigrants, and I can't, I'm actually like, I can't. And finally, the last book I have here, which, as I said, is not my most favourite, it's not my least favourite, it's a favourite, just so we're clear, and that is Out of Sight, Out of Time by Ali Carter. This is book number 5 in the Gallagher Girls series, and this book was my favourite book in the whole series. It's ranked number 1 in my little like ranking system I had going on while I was reading it, and that is closely followed by United We Spy and Cross My Heart and Hope to Spy. I love this book so much. It's amazing. The story is amazing, and it just kept me like turning pages, and this reminded me why I loved reading so much, this book, and I adored it. I adored Cammy and Zach and Bex and all of the people ever. I love them all, and I love this book, and I am so happy I read this series because this book was worth it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see y'all soon with another video. Bye!